जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन जमुना तीर वनचारी तीरा वनचारी जमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे राधे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे जय कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम जय वृंदावन धाम कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम जय वृंदावन जय गौरानिताय 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 श्री श्री गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय गौरानिताय श्री श्री गौरानि प्रभुपाद 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 जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद जय जगद्गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद जगद्गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद जगद्गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद जगद्गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद जय पतित पावन प्रभुपाद पतित पावन प्रभुपाद जय पतित पावन प्रभुपाद पतित पावन प्रभुपाद 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 जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद 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 जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल। जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। निताय गौर सीतानाथ प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि। हरे कृष्णा। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपगदामयं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णा चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। पंचकल्पतरुभस्य कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमः ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनीति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति स्वामिनीति नामिने। स्नेहते सुप्रेत भाविनां चरशापतम प्रभुपाद गत प्राणनो विभक्ति चरपरम। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनीति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। Hare Krishna. So today we are going to do chapter 9, the 12th verse, shloka 12. And the title of the chapter is The Most Confidential Knowledge. So before reciting the Bhagavad-gītā, we bring our obeisances to the Bhagavad-gītā. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Moghāśā mogha-karmāṇo. mogha-jñānā vicetasaḥ. rākṣasīm āsurīṁ caiva. prakṛtim mohinīṁ śritāḥ. moghāśā mogha-karmāṇo. mogha-jñānā vicetasaḥ. rākṣasīm āsurīṁ caiva. prakṛtim mohinīṁ śritāḥ. Who wants to chant? mogha-āśāḥ mogha-karmāṇo. mogha-jñānā vicetasaḥ. rākṣasīm āsurīṁ caiva. prakṛtim mohinīṁ śritāḥ. moghāśā mogha-karmāṇo. mogha-jñānā vicetasaḥ. rākṣasīm āsurīṁ caiva. prakṛtim mohinīṁ śritāḥ. Mataji? Okay. So word for word translation. Mogha-āśāḥ, baffled in their hopes. Mogha-karmāṇaḥ, baffled in fruitive activities. Mogha-jñānāḥ, baffled in knowledge. Vicetasaḥ, bewildered. Rākṣasīm, demonic. Āsurīṁ, atheistic. Cha, and. Eva, certainly. Prakṛtim, nature. Mohinīm, bewildering. Śritāḥ, taking shelter of. So the translation by Srila Prabhupada. Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demonic and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demonic and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. There are many devotees who assume themselves to be in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, but at heart do not accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kṛṣṇa, as the absolute truth. For them, the fruit of devotional service, going back to Godhead, will never be tasted. Similarly, those who are engaged in fruitive pious activities and who are ultimately hoping to be liberated from this material entanglement will never be successful, either because they deride the Supreme Personality of Godhead Kṛṣṇa. In other words, persons who mock Kṛṣṇa are to be understood to be demonic or atheistic. As described in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā, such demonic miscreants never surrender to Kṛṣṇa. Therefore, their mental speculations to arrive at the absolute truth bring them to the false conclusion that the ordinary living entity and Kṛṣṇa are one and the same. With such a false conviction, they think that the body of any human being is now simply covered by material nature, and that as soon as one is liberated from this material body, there is no difference between God and himself. This attempt to become one with Kṛṣṇa will be baffled because of delusion. Such atheistic and demoniac cultivation of spiritual knowledge is always futile. That is the indication of this verse. For such persons, cultivation of the knowledge in the Vedic literature, like the Vedānta-sūtra and the Upanishads, is always baffled. It's a great offense, therefore, to consider Kṛṣṇa, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to be an ordinary man. Those who do so are certainly deluded because they cannot understand the eternal form of Kṛṣṇa. The Brihat Vishnu Smriti clearly states, Yo veti bhautikam deham Kṛṣṇasya paramatmanah sa sarvasmad bahis karyah shrautasmartha vidhanatah mukham tasya valokyapi yapi se chelam snanam acharit. One who considers the body of Kṛṣṇa to be material should be driven out from all rituals and activities of the Shruti and the Smriti. And if one by chance sees his face, one should at once take bath in the Ganges to rid himself of infection. People jeer at Kṛṣṇa because they are envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Their destiny is certainly to take birth after birth in the species of atheistic and demoniac life. Perpetually, their real knowledge will remain under delusion, and gradually they will regress to the darkest region of creation. Mukam karoti vācālam pangam nāyate girim tat kripatamaham vande Sri Guru Dinataninam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So moghāśā mogha-karmāṇo mogha-jñānā vicetasaḥ rākṣasīm āsurīṁ caiva prakṛtim mohinīm śritāḥ. Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demonic and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. Hare Krishna. So in this verse, as Prabhupada states at the end, the point that is being made in this shloka is that even when some people, they consider themselves, they assume they're in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, but in the heart they don't accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead Kṛṣṇa as the absolute truth. This is a very subtle point, because in devotional service, it can also appear that we slightly forget that Kṛṣṇa is the source of everything. And due to all these material conceptions in this material world, even when people take to this knowledge, this most confidential knowledge, even then, they don't accept that Kṛṣṇa is the source of everything and he is real happiness, and that Kṛṣṇa consciousness is real happiness, because there is no happiness. So in the previous class we just heard Prabhuji said that we are a spirit soul, and actually that spirit soul is already full of bliss, is always anandamay. Anandamay nahi hona hai भूल गया कि आनंदमय है. That's the thing. We don't have to connect with Kṛṣṇa. We are already connected with Kṛṣṇa, but we forgot his connection with Kṛṣṇa. So connection with Kṛṣṇa can never be broken. So in this, that's why this chapter is actually every chapter in the Bhagavad-gītā is of most great importance. And if we see the structure of scripture, there is always a core in the middle and there is a conclusion at the end. In every literature, a structured text should be built up like this. These are the fundaments of writing, of literature. So we are at chapter 9, this most confidential knowledge. And what is this most confidential knowledge? As stated in the first 3 verses, Kṛṣṇa mentions that this is the king of all knowledge. And that's why, because the king of all knowledge, within this king of all knowledge, this chapter gives the most confidential knowledge. And what is this most confidential knowledge? As we chant every day, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Actually, that is the most confidential knowledge. Because of this Maha Mantra, we can apply what Kṛṣṇa is giving in the next shlokas. Namely, Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto. Give me your mind. Worship me. Become my devotee. And how to become Kṛṣṇa's devotee? By chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. By associating with devotees. A, B, C, D of Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Associating with devotees. Reading Prabhupada's books. Most important. Chanting. Very essential. And the diet. Dancing for Kṛṣṇa. Taking prasadam. That's the process to get this real most confidential knowledge. And what is most important, by doing this, we avoid the point that we assume to be in Kṛṣṇa consciousness. We really will become in Kṛṣṇa consciousness and we will be convinced that we are in Kṛṣṇa consciousness. We don't assume. Assuming means you, it's an assumption. It's not a conviction yet. It's not the conviction yet. So, Prabhupada writes here that such people who think that Kṛṣṇa is an ordinary man, or they mock him, they make fun of him. That the word mocking means making fun of him, humiliating, or saying things that will get the person down. So such peoples are to be considered atheistic and demonic. Actually, it is very subtle. Prabhupada makes that point here, that those who do so, that namely considering Kṛṣṇa as an ordinary man, they are deluded and they cannot understand the eternal form of Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa says also in the previous verse that when he appears in a human form, it is very misleading that common people will think that he's an ordinary man of flesh and blood. But Kṛṣṇa has an eternal body. He's Satchidananda Vigraha. He has a form of Satchit and Ananda, of knowledge, eternity and happiness and pleasure. Ananda means pleasure. So those people, they cannot understand, and they will, as it is stated, even when they cultivate knowledge, and they will not get the result of that cultivation of knowledge, because that misconception that they can become one with Kṛṣṇa is there. So that is the core, the bottom, the core of the core reason for his falling down, because he thinks that I am same as Kṛṣṇa. And what is the danger of this, especially also when someone takes to devotional service? When someone takes to devotional service and become Kṛṣṇa conscious and lives a life like in a Kṛṣṇa conscious way, it is automatically that because of his advancement in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, people will follow him. people will follow such a devotee because he has advanced on the path in the process of Krishna consciousness. But this is the point that is being made here, that even this is the point where in the purport where it is stated at the beginning that there are many devotees who assume themselves to be in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, but at heart do not accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, as the absolute truth. Why is that? Because when such a person assumes to be in devotional service, they, at this point, in the middle of the purport, it is said that such a person, they get to the point that they are not different from Krishna, so they can be worshipped. So that is even more dangerous. If someone is striving for honor, respect, or worship, then it's the wrong direction. Because Krishna consciousness is all about humility and all about insignificance of this living entity and taking Krishna as the source of everything. As Brahma Samhita states, Ishvara Parama Krishnas, Sachidananda Vigra, Anadinadir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the cause of all causes. So we always have to keep that in mind, that we are a servant of Krishna. And that we are not empowered to do anything, but is all the mercy of Krishna and Srila Prabhupada. So when we are all devotees here, there are not. The point is that if you have this, that you are an eternal servant of Krishna, and you took shelter of Srila Prabhupada, then it's guaranteed that you cannot become bewildered. That you will not ever have that idea or conclusion that I am same as Krishna. You are a part and parcel of Krishna. That's a fact. You have all the qualities of Krishna in minute sense. You have like the ocean and water. It's the ocean, but one drop of water has the same quality of the water in the whole ocean. But it's not the same as the whole ocean. So Krishna is the whole ocean and we are a drop of water. So this way we can understand that Krishna is the source of everything, and that we have to keep that in mind, that we are never equal to Krishna. Krishna says there is nothing equal to him. In this Bhagavad-gītā he says so. So it's of great importance to keep this this yoveti bhautikam deham. His deham is not bhautikam, is not material. And Krishnasya paramatmanah, that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And one who considers the body of Krishna to be material should be driven out from all rituals and activities of the Shruti and the Smriti. Actually, it is stated here, this is applying to actually everyone who didn't accept Krishna. So actually, if one who, it is subtly written here, that one who does not accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that he is the source of everything, very simple. Such a person is a demon. It's hard to say, but it's actually a fact. Because everything that is not written in the Bhagavad-gītā is actually sinful. So, because of this, Krishna says, they will not understand my transcendental nature when I appear in this material world. So this goes for mocking Krishna, making fun of Krishna, insulting Krishna. So also this applies. This is also for the devotee, that one should never mock a devotee or make fun of a devotee, and or talk behind his back. It is all written in Nectar of Devotion. This how to behave with a devotee, how to actually behave with every living entity. It is written. So it's very important not to mock Kṛṣṇa, and also not to mock his devotee, because his devotee is his servant, and Kṛṣṇa never tolerates when his devotee is being hurt or being set to problems and by others. So Kṛṣṇa always protects his devotee, and that's why making an offense towards a devotee is very dangerous, because you have to ask forgiveness to the devotee himself or herself. So that's the reason for those people, because they are thinking they are the same, and they are not accepting Kṛṣṇa as the source, because they think they are also the source. That's why they make this mistake, because they think they are the same as the source, and the source, a part of the source can never be the same as the source, isn't it? So that's why it's impossible to become same as the source, as Kṛṣṇa. So that's why it's bewildering. That's why these people get bewildered, and they will never reach the real goal, namely going back home back to Godhead. And first of all, such persons, actually, why don't they accept Kṛṣṇa as the source of everything? Because the first thing they didn't accept. And what is the first thing they didn't accept? I am not this body. That's the first thing they did not accept. They think they are their body. That's why they make even further, that's why the bewilderment continues further in the process. So, actually, the result of that devotional service, namely going back to home, back to Godhead, is required the basic knowledge that you're not this body, and that you're a servant of Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa is the source of everything, and to get out of this material bondage of birth, disease, old age, and death, is to accept that Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and by chanting this Mahamantra, I can get my original state of consciousness, my original happiness, to go back to home, back to Godhead. No one wants to come back. Prabhupada never said that come back and do bhajan, or come back and struggle for existence again and again. No, he said we have to go out of this material bondage and go back to home, back to Godhead. And actually we are here. We are actually at home because we are in Vrindavan. So fortunate we are, thus fortunate we are, because Prabhupada opened the doors to the spiritual world, and the one who accepted Prabhupada, he already actually entered into the spiritual world. So, and in addition to that, why is that how they become bewildered? Because of the first point, thinking that they are the body. Because, as we know, it is common sense, Kṛṣṇa is not Indian. You see, he is not Indian. It is not Indian culture. It's not Indian culture. It's Kṛṣṇa's culture. You see, this is not Indian clothes. This is spiritual clothes. That's the first mistake they make. You see, if you, and you can hear in Purport, and maybe they have it in the archive, that they say to Prabhupada, Indian politicians and journalists, they were interviewing Prabhupada, and they say Kṛṣṇa is only from India. So Prabhupada said in Hindi, he said, if the sun comes up in India, that doesn't mean the sun is from India, na? Right? It's for the whole world. So Kṛṣṇa is like the sun. He is for everyone. He's not Indian. He's not Indian. So that's a very important point to take, that this has nothing to do with some country or some culture or something. This is spiritual, this is transcendental science, this is real knowledge. That's why it's most confidential knowledge. So we have to take that with our heart and accept that Kṛṣṇa is not related to any race, any country or anything like that. Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has a dark blue complexion. How can you say he has a race? So, and Balaram is white. So Prabhupada already explained to us Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. Jagannath, he represents all the black people. Balaram, he represents all the white people. And Subhadra represents everything in between. You see, that's why she's yellowish. So, it is very important to take this point, not to get bewildered, because these are the main reasons, the main cause for bewilderment. Yes. So, that's why this is Rajavidya. And Prabhupada saved us, and he gave us all the knowledge needed to apply in life to get out of this misconception and become real happy. And what is this real happiness? People don't have time to take their mala and do Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And a devotee doesn't have time to put away his mala. You see? Those people, they don't have time to chant, and a devotee don't have time to not chant. He's always chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Always. In his mind, in his heart. Always. If his tongue is not moving, then somewhere in the back, Hare Krishna Mahamantra is going on. So that is real knowledge. And what is this? This most confidential knowledge. Krishna also says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam saranam braja aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha-āśāḥ masucha. At the end. So what is the conclusion? Just surrender upon to me and I will free you from all your sinful activities, O Arjun. So he promises Arjun that he will be freed from all his sinful activities. The only thing he has to do is to surrender to Kṛṣṇa. And how do we surrender to Kṛṣṇa? By chanting, by associating with devotees, by reading Prabhupada's books, and by taking prasadam. Those four things, it's always a feast, actually. It's actually all blissful. So, we are reminded in this chapter that we are being put in a very focused mood not to get bewildered by all this, your surroundings, all those so-called material happiness. It's because Kṛṣṇa also says in this same Bhagavad-gītā, he says, in this material world you can search for happiness, you will search and search, you will never find it. But there is one actually real happiness, and that is bhajan. And what is bhajan? Bhajan is nothing else. Sravana kirtana smarana vandana pada sevanam archanam dasyam sakhyam atmanivedanam. Hearing about Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa katha, Bhagavad katha, hearing about Kṛṣṇa, Shravanam, Kirtanam, uttering his holy name, singing the names of Kṛṣṇa, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Singing his names, Shravana Kirtanam, Smaranam, remembering Kṛṣṇa, Vandanam, giving him praying to Kṛṣṇa, Vandanam, Archanam, worshipping the Archa Vigraha of Kṛṣṇa, Dasyam, becoming his servant, doing some seva, cleaning the temple, attending all the programs. You can actually all 24 hours in a day we can put in service of Kṛṣṇa, any activity. And what is the point of this? As when you cannot relate an activity that it is for Kṛṣṇa's pleasure, it's not a good activity. It's a bad activity. That means that is a sinful activity. If any activity does not please Kṛṣṇa, that activity is a waste of your time. That is the core of all knowledge. So that's why the Bhagavad-gītā ends with Sarva Dharman Parityaja, and Srimad Bhagavatam begins with Dharma Projita Kaitava. See, it's instructing us to let go of all those misleading things, because we are limited in our intelligence and Kṛṣṇa is unlimited in his intelligence. So that's why we surrender to the unlimited intelligence, to tesam satatanam, you see, satanam, bhajatam pritikura dadami buddhi yogam. So we don't have that intelligence. Kṛṣṇa gives us that intelligence. We don't have that. So when we have, and when do we get this intelligence of Kṛṣṇa? Bhajatam pritipurvakam. Priti se bhajan. Meaning you do bhajan with love, with enthusiasm, with love, and then Kṛṣṇa will give you the intelligence, and then it is impossible to become bewildered by such people, such as described in this purport. You will never get bewildered. And Prabhupada says, as long as you follow my instructions, you hold on to my dhoti, nothing can go wrong. I will bring you back home, back to Godhead. That is Prabhupada's guarantee. And you can see it. You are very fortunate because Prabhupada has brought you here, and Prabhupada is the most bona fide sadhu and maybe not coming anymore. Because this is the point, very logical. If the wheel is invented, you cannot invent the wheel again, isn't it? So Prabhupada spread this whole Kṛṣṇa consciousness all over the world. It's already done. No one can imitate that. It's impossible. So that's why Prabhupada, they say, is Shakya Vesh Avatar. Kṛṣṇa empowered him to spread this Kṛṣṇa consciousness all over the world. And he gave us this Bhagavad-gītā. He gave us Srimad Bhagavatam. He gave us Chaitanya Charitamrita. He gave us nectar of devotion. He gave us so many. Actually, he gave us the whole package to get the real thing, namely becoming like the servant of the Gopi Bhartu Pada Kamaliyor Dasa Dasanudas. See, we go into the footsteps of the manjaris, of the gopis. So when we focus and in all seriousness, we take this with our heart and capture it in our heart and apply it in our life, then it's guaranteed that you will never get bewildered, and your bhajan, namely your Kṛṣṇa consciousness, your determination will only get stronger and stronger, and nothing will come in between you and Prabhupada and Kṛṣṇa. Because Guru, Shastra and Sadhu are the three means of going back home, back to Godhead. So that is the sum and substance of this shloka, which reminds us to not get bewildered like those who are being described in here, that they think that they can become God himself, that they are as good as Kṛṣṇa. Because Prabhupada never thought he is as good as Kṛṣṇa. He always says, I am a servant of Kṛṣṇa. See? A real sadhu never seeks or strives for honor or respect or something like that. He is most humble and is far from all those things, because those things are like poison for him. You see, because it can it can increase your ego that, oh, I am a very good devotee, I am such and such, and I am doing everything. That's the biggest mistake we can make. The correction for that is Kṛṣṇa is doing everything and I am doing my best, Kṛṣṇa is doing the rest. It rhymes, isn't it? So we just do our best. No one is perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. Never always reflect on yourself and always think of others, that you never hurt another living entity with words or with deeds or physically. Always see everything, that everything belongs to Kṛṣṇa. Even your son, daughter, father, mother, brother, everyone belongs to Kṛṣṇa. Yes, Kṛṣṇa appeared as your brother in your family. Kṛṣṇa appeared as your wife to serve Kṛṣṇa together. So this is the conclusion. The destiny of people who don't accept this and think that Kṛṣṇa has a material body and he's like an ordinary man. It is stated here, one, if we as devotees who accepted Kṛṣṇa see such a person, Prabhupada is being he uses here very hard instruction. Namely, he says you have to take bath. It's like in the past when a sadhu sees a Muslim, when someone sees, he had to take a bath because it's that contaminating. Because he's killing cows, and so much rage and anger is in such a person. They are killing animals alive. And elsewhere in the world, they cook, not only in the world, here in India I think also, they are cooking the animal alive on the table, you see. So such people, they can never accept Kṛṣṇa. How will they accept Kṛṣṇa? They are killing so many living entities. It is for them impossible to accept. And if they accept Kṛṣṇa, they will see how sinful they were. And it is possible to rectify such people. That's why Prabhupada came to the West to rectify, to make those people civilized and become devotee. That's the power of Srila Prabhupada. And that's why he gave us this Bhagavad-gītā to let always be conscious, not to get bewildered, and always reflect and think, if what I'm doing now is that for the pleasure of Kṛṣṇa. If not, so I have to stop it or reject it and do something which is beneficial for my relationship with Kṛṣṇa or pleasing Kṛṣṇa. So that's the sum and substance of this purport of the most confidential knowledge. And of course, we all know this chapter is very very important, because Manmana Bhava Madbhakto shloka is coming in this chapter, and also in chapter 18. So this shloka, which Kṛṣṇa repeats 2 times, is in this chapter also taken. And after this chapter, the opulence is being described. So Kṛṣṇa is giving here actually the core of all the knowledge there is. Namely, that's why it's stated here, it's the most confidential knowledge. So that's why, concluding to our shloka, we always have to be careful not to think that we are same as Kṛṣṇa and that we can be on equal level of Kṛṣṇa. Always remember that we are a servant of Kṛṣṇa, and that our life and this body is meant, just as Prabhu said in the previous class, this body is meant for service in Kṛṣṇa. Even those fingers, your hands, your feet, your mouth, eyes, all those senses you have, use them in Kṛṣṇa, and then automatically you're not assuming to be Kṛṣṇa conscious. You are Kṛṣṇa conscious because you are putting all your senses in Kṛṣṇa. So that is not an assumption, that's a fact. See? So those eyes are seeing Kṛṣṇa, those ears, they hear bhajan, kirtan, they hear Kṛṣṇa's names. This tongue, it takes prasadam and it utters Kṛṣṇa's name. These feet are to clean the temple, do parikrama, use them for service in Kṛṣṇa. Even when you have a car or a motorbike, anything, you can use it for Kṛṣṇa. Anything you can. And that's what Prabhupada says. If you cannot use it for Kṛṣṇa, it's not good. It's not good. So reject that. Reject that. As an instruction in Nectar of Devotion, one of the 64 instructions is reject everything that is not favorable for your devotional service, because it will become an obstacle on your path to Kṛṣṇa. See? So that's most important, to reject. And favorable things, you take it with both arms. So that is the importance of this sloka. So we still have 10 minutes left. Any of Prabhuji's has any remarks, addition, question, we can discuss together.
Prabhuji, those three things you said, sadhu, shastra and
Guru. Yes. Guru, Shastra, Sadhu. Three essential things. Because without a spiritual master, we cannot enter into the spiritual kingdom. We cannot enter to Kṛṣṇa. We cannot go straight to Kṛṣṇa. We need a guru. Kṛṣṇa also instructs that we need a guru. He himself took a guru. You see? That's why we have to accept a spiritual master, and Kṛṣṇa will send a spiritual master. Pray to Kṛṣṇa that I need a spiritual master to come to you. So he will send the spiritual master. Very good question, Prabhu. These three things indeed, yes. Guru, Shastra, that's why Guru, taking shelter of a spiritual master, Shastra, the scripture, Prabhupada's books, and Sadhu, all the devotees. That is the meaning of that, yes.
And when Prabhupada said, hold on to my dhoti, what does he mean?
He means never leave my ISKCON. He never leave my ISKCON. I am ISKCON. This ISKCON, that's why Prabhupada said it's an international society for Kṛṣṇa consciousness. It's actually for the whole world. Everyone must come. It's happening a little bit, I think. In the past, I needed to look for Indian body. Now it's the other way around, you see. More Indian body, you see, and less foreigners. But with holding on to my dhoti is have all faith in Prabhupada. Have all faith in Prabhupada. Never lose any faith in Prabhupada. Because his Guru is not a figure, or he is eternal. Guru is eternal. Prabhupada is eternal. So, Prabhupada holding on to his dhoti, meaning always follow my instruction. Always. And then nothing can go wrong. Nothing can go wrong. Otherwise, living entities like me would be even faller as I am. You see? So, you are really saved. We are in Vrindavan. Prabhupada is here. And by holding on to his dhoti means follow his instruction, read his books, associate with the devotee. And this is also important, accept authority. Accept authority. Of course, you have to be critical. You don't follow blind. Ask question. If you doubt something, ask. Ask till you comprehend fully. Because otherwise you will assume, then you will assume something. It's an assumption. No. Ask till you comprehend fully and understand fully, and you verify with the person who is giving you the information, the data. You verify, Prabhuji, have I understood this in a correct way? And then you say how you understood, and the the senior will tell you, yes, Prabhu, you understood, or no, Prabhu, this is how it is. You see? So that means holding on to his devotee. It's a very beautiful question, because holding on to his devotee can mean a lot of things, and these are the things. Holding on, following instruction, reading his books, and never leave ISKCON. Never. Because ISKCON is your home. It's your home. Prabhupada is your father, your grandfather. Maybe grandfather nowadays, but Prabhupada is our grandfather. He is the... when we come here, we should have the mood, I'm going home. This mandir is one of my homes. Even when you live, some of us, we live outside the temple. But still the temple is our center where all the devotees come together. It's a very important gathering place, this mandir. That's also the function of a mandir. Because Kṛṣṇa is residing in his full opulence in the temple. You can have an altar at home, but Prabhupada never said, stay home and worship Kṛṣṇa at home. He said, come to the temple even when you have your own Thakurji at home. You have to come to the temple and do service. So pick up any service, ask for service, throw yourself at the feet of the devotees and say, how can I be of any service? And see, Prabhupada will give you service. Yes, as he gave me and he gave all of us. So keep faith in Prabhupada. That means holding on tight to his devotee. Never, like this general people, they take a movie star like their idol. You see? In the West, in the past it was like Michael Jackson, and here it was in the past Amitabh Bachchan. And so if you have this for Prabhupada, then you're saved. Then you have, if you have that Prabhupada is my life and soul, then all things are arranged with Radharani and Kṛṣṇa. Then Kṛṣṇa has to become subdued to aham bhakta paradhino. Kṛṣṇa says, he is come again? Yes, under the control. He becomes subdued to the love of his devotee. So when you surrender to Prabhupada, he is compulsory subdued to you. Yes, that is the power of Prabhupada. So that's why he says, hold on to my dhoti, I will bring you to Kṛṣṇa. Nice, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you. Anything else? 2 minutes, 1 minute left. Prabhu, did you have some addition, some remarks? Thank you, Prabhu. आप ही बोलिए. No questions? Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Then we'll finish up, wrap up. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.